welcome once again, everybody, to this Canada Specialist Program webinar. Joanne from Destination British Columbia, please take it away.
Thanks, Charlie. Thanks, everyone, for joining. I see lots of familiar names on the webinar today, so that's fantastic. I even see Ellen, and if Ellen is still on her trip to Oregon, I can't believe you're joining our webinar. That's crazy. Good job, Ellen. Way to be dedicated. So today I want to talk to you guys about something that's huge for British Columbia. This is the first time ever we've had this level of funding to support a huge marketing campaign across Australia and a little bit into New Zealand. What that means to all of you is we're really trying to get British Columbia and Canada back out on the center stage with consumers. We're trying to be everywhere so that they can't forget who we are. We're refreshing them why they should think about a trip to Canada and to British Columbia. And so I just want to run a bit through that, and then I'm going to move on to some new things happening in BC. So our campaign is called the BC Effect. And if you want to know more about it, you can hop on our website, hellobc.com/BC Effect, to find out a little bit more. But the BC Effect is something that we created, but it is based on scientific evidence. So it's basically saying that getting out in nature is good for your health. And I think we all need something good for our health right now after the last couple of years. So we're reminding people that we've got mountains and rainforests and all this incredible nature, fresh air, oxygen, and get out there, get a trip up to British Columbia and enjoy yourself and just relax. And so that's sort of overall what the BC Effect means, and that's what we've been talking about through our campaign. So I thought I'd start with a little video that you can see if you're watching television, channel 7, 9, 10, SBS, even on demand. We have this television commercial showing right now.
Find yourself here. In a performance of human and nature, spirits embracing, catching what we were chasing. And the silence is our thunderous applause. For we are connected. In these moments we will find ourselves again. Through these places that we have been. We will be in awe, not of their beauty, but of ourselves. That we can feel so deeply and be filled so completely.
Doesn't it make you want to go to BC right now? So something that I was hoping I might get a little bit of feedback from you guys on while you're watching me talk or listening to me talk. If you can just jump in the chat room and tell me, how are things going with you guys right now for British Columbia bookings? Are you getting inquiries? Are you getting bookings? Are people using up credit? Is it a slow burn for you? I'm just really curious to hear how things are going for you guys. So back to the BC Effect. So we've got 6 different elements of the BC Effect. It will become as no surprise to all of you guys that are regular visitors and sellers of BC. Mountains is one of our big things. Of course, we have those great big mountains, very different than what we have in Australia. So we're telling people to come to the 10 different mountain ranges. We're showing that in our imagery, which you'll see in the next few slides. Our rainforests, we have rainforests, of course, in Australia, but we've got 25,000 kilometers of rainforest along the west coast of British Columbia. And of course, with that comes all of our lush greenery and our wildlife. And we know that people want to come up to Canada for our wildlife, for our unique bears, our moose, our caribou, our orca whales, our humpback whales, eagles, etc. I mean, who doesn't want to get back to a little bit of nature and wildlife in Canada? Oceans. Australia really rules on oceans, but I feel like the ocean on the west coast of British Columbia is a real rugged west coast. So it's slightly different, and then unless you were somewhere like Tasmania, we might not be in the ocean all the time, but we're on the ocean. We're in wildlife whale watching boats, bear watching boats. We're stand-up paddleboarding, canoeing, sometimes traditional canoes, with Indigenous tour operators, etc. So that's how we position the ocean for us. And as I said, our wildlife really is where we rule in regards to why people want to come up to British Columbia. And of course, we've got our spirit bear, our white bear. We've got the grizzly bears, the black bears, and I can tell you the wildlife will be very happy to see you and your customers coming to visit. It's been a while since they've had any interaction. And like a lot of tourism boards, we are no different. We've been working really hard for the last couple of years on trying to really bring those Indigenous experiences to life. Anybody I've ever taken on a FAM will attest to tell you that it was life-changing experiences when we did Indigenous experiences when we were on our FAMs. So we've got 203 Indigenous communities across British Columbia alone. We've got 30 different Indigenous languages. So we have a lot to offer that's really unique. And we'll be talking a lot more about it in the next while. And of course, last but not least is sustainability, which is hot on everybody's lips at the moment in conscious traveling. So trying not to do over tourism, trying to push people into areas that they may not have heard about, that they may be interested in. So we'll be talking a lot more as well about all those different opportunities and interests that people have around British Columbia related to sustainability. So this is our campaign. This is what it looks like on your mobile device. So again, if you aren't watching media, then you might not have seen it, but otherwise we are on television. We've been in print, digital, social media, everywhere you look. So I hope somebody's seen something. And this is the kind of imagery we're serving up. And so at the highest level, we're really talking to customers or potential customers about coming to British Columbia. We're just planting the seed. We're not telling them specifically here to book a package, but we certainly are also working with our tour operator partners as well, which then knocks on to our travel agent partners. So we're telling people at some stage in the booking process to go back and book their holiday with you guys and get themselves to Canada. So I hope that it's working. It's still early days. We only started this campaign on March 21st, and we go all the way through to April 30th. So some more of our print advertising. We were just in Traveler this weekend. We had a whole interview with Katrina Lobley, a journalist, talking to Marg Lehan from Great Bear Lodge about why an Aussie would want to live in Canada, what made her stay in British Columbia. And it's a really awesome story. And it is really literally the BC effect. It just took a hold of her and she wanted to stay. So again, a little bit more from our digital side of things. And now I will move on to some of the what's new and what's happening in 2022. And don't panic and try to write everything down, because I promise you I have all this information that I will send out as a follow-up tomorrow when Charlie prepares her list of everyone who's been on the call. So you can take as little notes as you possibly want to, and I'll send the rest through. So of course, wildlife, like I said, is a really big deal for us. Turns out it's really popular. So places like Night Inlet Lodge tell us they're already sold out in 2022, but they're already taking bookings for 2023, which is the earliest they've ever done that. So again, if you've got clients wanting that kind of experience, get in quickly. Our friends at Kingfisher Wilderness Adventures, they do the kayaking with the whales, and they are working in partnership with an Indigenous operated company called Seawolf, who do the grizzly bear tours. So there's some really cool experiences, really outdoor active experiences. They also work with Coastal Rainforest Adventures, who do a mixture of whales, otters, grizzly bears, etc. Our friends at Farewell Harbor Lodge, Tim and Kelly, you may have met before. They tell us that it's getting quite busy in the last half of the season, August, September, October, but they still have bookings for the early part this year. And our friends at 5 Star Whale Watching in Victoria have developed a new tour. So it's only 2 hours. Most of the whale watching trips are 3 hours. So it's really aimed at the families that want a smaller trip at a reduced price. And the focus will be general marine life, not just specifically whales, but again, great opportunity to do something slightly different. Just some more photos of our friends in British Columbia going about their business. And our wildlife lodges, our wilderness lodges. Just a reminder, we've got everything from the real high-end luxury down to something that's more basic, but it's really, the focus is about getting out with the wildlife. Now, in the last month or so, I've learned about some new places that I'd never heard about up in northern British Columbia. So I'm sharing them here, but again, they'll be in a follow-up handout. Little Wolf Resort up in northern BC and Bear Claw Lodge. Now, they're both that real gigantic log cabin style building. So if you envision that and you've got clients that want that, they're a little bit further afield, but this might be that exactly what that client's looking for. Frontiers Experience is another one in northern BC that was traditionally for fishing, for steelhead. Now they're offering the luxury cabins, mountain biking, jet boat tours. So they're just taking advantage of all that was on offer and just enhancing it. And then Kingfisher over on Vancouver Island is another interesting one. They've added these sky domes. They're like igloos for winter dining outside. So you can have that dining experience without anybody around. And Indigenous Experiences. This photo is Clahus Wilderness Resort on Sunshine Coast. So entirely Indigenous owned and operated, and just a really cool experience, both from an Indigenous perspective and also from seeing wildlife. So that's one to keep in mind. And some other ones on this list: Haida House in Haida Gwaii, which is where my boss is right now with National Geographic doing some video filming, which is really cool. And Spirit Bear Lodge is where we have the Spirit Bears, and they are also entirely owned and operated by Indigenous communities. So again, I'll send more of this out, and I'm running out of time, so I'll just quickly move on to the next slide. These are some of those Indigenous experiences, very authentic, very life-changing moments for people. And of course, adventure, we have plenty of that. This is the Golden Sky Bridge in Golden that's run by Pursuit, who you would be familiar with. They used to be called Brewster. They do a lot of activities in Banff. And this is one of their new activities in the last, since we've been locked in COVID times. We also have companies like Blackcomb Helicopter and Whistler doing heli biking tours. So that's something slightly different. We have a new Nordic spa, Scandinavian spa that's opened up in Victoria called Ritual Nordic Spa. And you probably have heard of Malahat Skywalk, which is winning all the awards now, just opened late last year on Vancouver Island as the hottest new attraction. So all things BC are found on our website, including ever-changing rules and regulations around entry into British Columbia, mask wearing, etc. It's all up to date on here, and it's hard to put something in a presentation because it keeps changing. So I'll leave you with that. Thank you very much for your time.